Hail and welcome to Cory's quick review of Five Nights at Freddy's. Um, if we're gonna be totally honest about this movie, I found it incredibly boring. And it was a nice reminder as to why I don't personally like PG-13 horror movies. Um, Overall entertainment value, I gave it a 4 out of 10, if we're being honest. Horror level, it's a 0. That's not scary in any way, not for someone like me. The gore and effects, I gave a 4 out of 10 because it was just boring. It was whatever. It didn't sell me that these things were terrifying. Writing, wasn't impressed with. Acting, they did great with what they were given, honestly. But if we're gonna be totally honest about the acting, I felt like there was a lot of Peter Malark in the character that Hutchinson played. That being said, directing was well done. I mean, they made the right choices with what they were given again, but this was a boring movie. It had a lot of buildup, but no release. It reminded me of teaching my teenage son how to drive. You know, you'd get going a little bit, and then there's some tension, and then it's like, oh my gosh, and then it just slams on the brakes, and there's no execution, and it falls flat in pretty much every way that you could possibly imagine. Personally, it wasn't very good. It had a ton of potential, but it was so bad. If you like the franchise, you'll probably like it more than I did because you'll get all the Easter eggs and stuff like that. I should have said that I've never played the games and stuff, but I was looking at this from a purely horror movie standpoint, and honestly, if you're not a fan of the franchise, you're probably not going to have any idea why this is supposed to be scary or whatever. There was at least 20 minutes that they could have cut out, and it would have been a much better movie. Um, all in all, if they would have stepped it up a little bit and made it even an R-rated horror movie with actually showing some of the gore, it would have delivered better. But all in all, this movie, in my opinion, is not really worth the watch unless you're a fan of the game franchise and such. But that being said, let's say hello to the chat again, shall we? He says, Snail Messiah, hail. He says, gasp, live again. Yes, still do that. Hail, Mass Grave says, Frank Gore said it was great. Good for him. Gosh. He also says, damn it, Cory, I have a date to see this weekend. Sorry, bro. I hope you enjoy it more than I did. Honestly, it was just boring. I'm sick and tired of movies that have a ton of potential just being gigantic balls of disappointment and boredom. I really, really, really wanted to like this movie, and it almost had me liking it until they made specific design choice or directing choices or whatever you want to call it that they did with this movie. It could have been something fantastic. That being said, it wasn't. I did like the delivery that my brain is breaking on his name. Hutchinson did a good job, but it was kind of a rehash role for why is my brain breaking on his name? For goodness sake. At Freddy's. Yeah, I know. Movie. Come on. Matthew Lillard. Why did I forget his name of all people? Matthew Lillard. It was kind of a rehash role for him, but he still did a pretty good job because, I mean, he's a good actor. He's got decent chops on him. Massgrave says, nearly every movie now, sadness. Indeed. And I'm personally sick and tired of boring garbage. This movie had potential to be one of the greatest horror movies that was ever made, but they failed miserably. I mean, it has every element that you need in a horror movie to make it good, but they didn't execute correctly. And that's all I'll say without getting into any spoilers or anything like that. But ladies and gentlemen, we're coming up on the 5-minute mark, so I'm gonna bounce, or it's not a quick review. Stay sexy, don't get murdered, and as always, have a wonderful day.